Hello, this is Paul Dumas with Optimized Local Search Services, and we're going to do a basic overview of how a typical business website is built and put together using the format or the platform WordPress. As you can see, we've got three different WordPress sites here, have some common elements. Basically, a site uses a theme, which is WordPress's template. That template can be custom built, or you can pull from a variety of either free or paid templates available online and then modify them to your use. But most themes allow you to do certain things. They all have some form of a header. Typically it'll be a static graphic, or sometimes you'll see social media links or various slideshows and whatnot put into the header. This one's just a simple graphic. This one up here again is a simple graphic in the header. This one is a graphic that also has a slideshow embedded in it. And that header can be typically obviously at the top, but sometimes you'll have a format where the site will be just a box and have some empty space around it. There's a lot of variety that you can do with the WordPress themes depending on what it is. This particular one uses a third-party theme that we purchased and then customized for the client's use. This one here is a custom theme that we built using our theme building software. This one as well is a custom theme that we built so that we could get the format that we needed for each of these store locations. In addition to the header, most WordPress themes will have some form of a menu. The most common way is to have a horizontal menu here at the top that kind of connects to the core areas of the site. This particular site, the menu is on the sidebar. This one here again is at the top. Then we also have a variety of presenting information. Essentially, WordPress gives us three different tools for presenting information. The core area here on this site uses what WordPress refers to, conveniently enough, as pages. Pages on a WordPress site typically are the brochure type information, the information that generally doesn't change very often, and it's for your visitors to get an idea of what you do. So this area right in here is the home page. As we go through the different pages here, this content here would be the About Us page. Likewise, the Contact Us page. This particular site doesn't actually have a page on the home section. It uses another element that WordPress offers, is the ability to segment sites using what are called widgets. This particular site has a slideshow widget that's big front and center. Allows us to segment three different columns down here. Each one of these would be a custom widget. And then we also have the footer widgets, which on this particular site, there's four different columns with a bunch of different widgets that actually don't change as you click through the different site. The footer remains consistent. As you can see, the footer widget is still here. This particular site has the widgets are in the sidebar. As you can see here, we've got a menu widget, the newsletter widget, and then there's the static contact info widget. This site here, regardless of where we go within the site, we have the social media widget, testimonials, a calendar widget, a blog menu widget, and then we do have some footer widgets down here that allow us to segment it without having to do a bunch of custom code to break up the screen. Now, one of the nice advantages of WordPress is, in addition to being able to build your website with all the different segments and widgets and pages and whatnot, is it allows you to embed a blog within the site. The blog manages the different pages within a blog. Actually, are not called pages, they are called posts. The difference between a page and a post is that a post typically has a timestamp tied to it. So as we put it into the menus and whatnot, the most recent one will come up near the top, and as Google indexes your site, there'll be a date tied to this particular blog posting so that we can actually make this a news release or a current events or a press room, whatever we want to do with the blog. It's not always a Dear Diary. It's actually a nice way to constantly update your site with new content, and it helps a lot from a search engine optimization standpoint, and also just to allow customers to see what's going on within your business. So as we go into it to figure out where we can find the different elements of the site, we have to log into our WordPress site, and we do so through the mechanism given to you by your webmaster with your username and password, and it always brings you into the WordPress dashboard. Everything is managed through this left-hand navigation, so we can get access to everything that we have. If we want to do blogging, it's under, as we said, posts. I can go in and view all the posts that are currently in the blog, and I can go in and edit each individual post, change various elements, or I can add a new post. Allows us to come in here, and we've got a nice WYSIWYG editor that's very similar to using Microsoft Word to be able to create our blog posting and assign categories. And we'll go into a lot more in depth on how to create a blog posting and the nuances of the various features in a different video. If we want to go in and manage the pages, I can go in here and view all the different pages. Here's all the pages on this particular site. I can go in and edit one of the pages, go in, and it shows me there's our page. And I can go in and literally just change the text and change out images and move it around, whatever I want to do through this editor. As I mentioned, WordPress is a little unique in that it uses the widgets. under the appearance, we have the widgets. These are all the various widgets available to us on this particular site. The widgets available to you will be dictated in large part by what kind of theme you're using and what kind of plugins. Plugins are little programs that you can install into WordPress to add to the functionality, whether it's a translation widget that allows you to put a little flag on your site so you can translate it into a different language, or a social media widget that allows you to put in your social media profiles and it'll create a nice little Facebook button and Twitter button, like right here is a social media widget. And then we also have the widget areas. This is where we actually put things in. Depending on the theme you're using, you'll have various widget areas available to you. Almost all themes will have a primary default widget area. So as we look at these, we have the social media widget, the testimonial widget, the upcoming events calendar widget, a blog menu category, and some custom text. This is actually just a graphic with a link tied to it. And these correspond on this site with our social media, testimonials, calendar widget, blog menu, and there's our little graphic with our custom link. And we'll go into a little bit more in depth on terms of managing the widget areas, but I want to show you exactly where you can find those. You've got, in this particular theme, we're using the primary widgets. We're not using the secondary widget at all, but we are using the footer widgets. So as we go down here and see, the first widget area is the first column, second column, third column. So we got the company news, our location, and the third one is actually a graphic with a link, and they correspond directly with company news, our location, and the graphic with the link. So we can actually move these widgets around. You can literally just click on the widget you want to add and add it there. Once I have it somewhere, I can move it around. If I don't want to have a widget anymore, I can either just drag it off here and it'll get rid of it, or I can open this up and hit delete, and it'll pull that out, and it automatically then saves it and is live on the site right now. So the widget area is a little bit unique. It's got a little bit of nuance there depending on what you're wanting to do, and like I said, we'll do a little bit more in-depth managing widget areas in a different video. The final thing that we had talked about was menus. When you add a page or a post, it's not always automatically just added to your menu up here. So you actually have to manage the menus as a separate element. Now, if you're blogging and you put it into a category and you already have a blog category menu, it'll automatically add that under the specific category, whatever posting you have. So you don't have to add blog posts to a menu. As long as you use an existing or create a new category, it'll automatically populate those within your blog menus. But under the menus here, the biggest advantage of WordPress 3.0 is it has, most of the themes will have a primary navigation where it'll automatically have a default menu that you can create. We name this one main. You can name it whatever you want. This is really just for your own purposes because it doesn't actually show up anywhere on the site. And here's the different elements that are in this menu. As you can see, home, calendar, gallery, about, they correspond directly with what's in this menu here. And as we look at this one you can tell is indented. What that does is it creates a submenu which corresponds with the little drop down here. I can then expand these, and whatever I put in here is what's on the label. So for instance, if I wanted to change it from contact to contact us, I can just change the label and save the menu. And when I come back over here and refresh, it changes it to contact us. I in fact don't want it to say contact us, so I can go back and change that back and save it, and it's live right now. If I want to add something to the menu, I can go over here, and here's a list of all of our pages, and if there's a whole bunch of pages, you got hundreds of pages, you can pull them out of the list, or you can search for a page, and I literally just click on what I want to add, and I do add to menu, and it's added. Until I save that menu, it won't show up live, but then I can of course go in here and rename it whatever I want. I can make it a sub-menu, I can move it around, make it whatever I want really. If I make it a sub-menu of a sub-menu, I can save it, come back over here and refresh my site. You'll see corporate, find a store, contact, and there's my element that I just added to the menu. I don't want that in there, so I'm going to remove it and save it, and we're back to where we started. If you want to do a custom link in the menu, you certainly can. I could have a link to CNN.com and put whatever I want and add that, put it here, and actually have it open in a new window. So I'm sending people off my site, and I don't really want them to leave my site, but I give them that option. When I come back over here and refresh my page, now I've got news. When I click on that, it opens a new window and takes me right to CNN.com. So managing menus is actually very simple. Menus, creating new menus, and how to use menus and then add them. Now, one thing about it, if you notice this menu,
it's just wide enough to fill get it fixed with site, which most WordPress websites are, so they'll work on any platform, regardless of being a computer or a tablet or a mobile phone. If I happen to have an element that is a little bit too long, I make upcoming events the name of the calendar. Save that, go back over here and refresh this. You'll notice that it's too long. What it does is it pushes the next element down to a second level, which essentially makes your site look like it's broken. So I can actually go in then and just manage the labels to make sure they fit within my menu. If I'm using a custom menu on a sidebar, it's less important what the length of these text is, but if you ever see this, it's just a matter of it's too wide to fit on it. So I can either go into the theme itself and customize and change the font size to make them fit. And if that's an issue, contact your webmaster. Otherwise, I can just make sure that when I put these in here, they actually fit the width. And so now we're back to where we just have a single level, which is what I'd like to have. So that's the basic overview of where things are put together in WordPress. As I mentioned, the blog goes into posts. The brochure, static information that doesn't always change. It's more for your visitors to get an idea of what you do. They are all managed under pages. And then under appearance, we can manage the widget areas and the menus. So if you have any questions, contact your webmaster or give us a call. You can visit us at optimizedlocalsearch.com, and we'd be happy to help you in any way we can. Appreciate you watching.